What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Furyborn by Claire Legrand. So for those of you guys who don't know, this book is set up in a very interesting way because we're following two girls, one named Rial and one named Eliana, but they are separated by 1,000 years worth of history, and they live in this very interesting world. So we have this prophecy of this foretold Sun Queen and Blood Queen. The Sun Queen is going to be everybody's salvation and save everyone, whereas the Blood Queen would be their ruin. And when we meet Rial, she is one of those. She has the power of the seven of these mighty gods or whatever, and they believe her to be the Sun Queen or the Blood Queen. And her story is all about them testing her, seeing her power, seeing which queen she's going to be. But then 1,000 years later, we see that she was the Blood Queen. She brought about their ruin, and now the world doesn't have any magic. It's just been sucked out of everything, and you have this oppressive empire just sort of lording over it all. And Eliana is what's known as the Dread, and she is an assassin. She's killing people, and there's these women going missing. So there's this big chunk of time where we just don't really know what happens. We're learning about Rial, and we're finding out things about her, and we're seeing, how could she be the Blood Queen? How could she bring about so much ruin? And how exactly is she connected to Eliana? Because surely there must be some sort of connection going on here. So overall, the world in this book is very interesting. I think the history that this author is trying to build is really, really cool, and I like that sort of direction with it. However, I did not feel connected to these characters at all. Honestly, I thought that the whole Eliana part of the story, I thought I was gonna like her because it was very interesting to see Rial's side and then to jump forward in time to see what's going on with Eliana. But the plot there is really convoluted and it just didn't really make a lot of sense to me, and a lot of the characters just don't make a lot of sense. I kind of just didn't understand where we were going or what we were doing, and by the time we get to the end of the book, nothing felt satisfying. I just didn't really understand how everything fit together. The stuff with Eliana in general made sense, and I was like, okay, I kind of saw that coming and I understand what's going on here. But as far as the plot for her part of the story went, it just fell very flat. Whereas with Rial's side of the story, I enjoyed it a lot more. It was a lot better, but there's nothing new there. It was just a competition where Rial is testing all of her powers. So she has the power of the seven, so over 7 weeks she's going to test each one of her powers, and we have seen this happen a lot of times, and it just kind of fell flat again. It was a little bit more compelling, a little bit more interesting, but again, there wasn't really anything new here. The romance with both of these sides as well just doesn't make any sense, and that to me is because these characters don't feel real. They didn't feel very tangible, so anybody other than Eliana and Rial just didn't have any substance at all, anything to where I was like, oh, okay, I totally believe your relationship. I totally believe that you're best friends. I totally believe you're falling in love. None of that kind of stuff. There is smut in this book, which is exciting, but there's no heat in it because you don't feel for this relationship. So it just didn't really hit quite the right notes for me. It was kind of weird reading it because I thought I was really enjoying it, but then it would just be I want to be done with this book. I'm tired of dealing with these characters. So it's in this weird kind of limbo area where it's well written and the world's cool, but the characters are weird and the plot didn't make sense. So where I'm sitting right now is I'm giving this book a B-. I don't know if I would continue with the series. Maybe. I'm kind of interested to know what happens next, but I don't know if I'd want to drag my feet through another book. It is interesting. It is cool. If you're into this kind of story with all of the magic and the history and all of that kind of stuff, you would probably like this book. But it just felt weird. Something was off about it. The characters, the pacing, something just didn't quite sit right, which is kind of making me hesitant to be gung-ho and recommend this book and want to continue on with the series. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!